Welcome! So let's talk about Japanese soccer, because there's a wild story unfolding right now. On one hand, you've got clubs breaking all-time financial records, and on the other, nearly half the league is struggling just to stay afloat. We're going to dig into how a league can be having a massive boom and a potential bust all at the same time.
So take a look at this number, over 10 billion yen. That's not the entire league's budget. It's not even the cost of a new stadium. No, that's the annual revenue for just one club, the Urawa Red Diamonds. To give you an idea of how big a deal this is, they're the first club in J.League history to ever hit that number, and now they've done it 2 years in a row. Absolutely massive.
But that huge number, it doesn't tell the whole story. Not even close. Because Urawa's incredible success is hiding a much more complicated reality. The J.League isn't really one league right now. It's more like two. You've got one for the super rich clubs and another for everyone else who's just trying to survive. This isn't just a boom. It's a sign of a massive financial divide.
So let's start at the very top. Look at this. You can see the clear financial powerhouses right here. Urawa Reds, of course, are leading the pack. But you've got Kawasaki Frontale and Vissel Kobe right there with them, all pulling in well over 8 billion yen. They've basically created their own tier of super clubs, and they're playing a totally different financial game than everybody else.
Okay, so that's the top. Now here's the other side of the story. Across all 60 clubs in the league, you can see the real problem. A staggering 27 clubs, that's almost half the entire league, are actually losing money. So while a few teams are up there counting their billions, a huge chunk of the league is just trying to stop the financial bleeding.
So how in the world are these elite clubs pulling so far ahead of everyone else? Is there some kind of magic formula? Well, it turns out it's not just one thing. Let's take a closer look at the different ways these giants are building their fortunes.
What's really fascinating here is that there's no single playbook for success. You've got Urawa, whose model is just pure firepower. They leverage their gigantic fan base to bankroll the most expensive team in the league. Then there's Kawasaki Frontale, who are all about steady, stable management and bringing in money from lots of different places. And Yokohama F. Marinos? They're on a completely different path, building deep roots in their community through a dedicated nonprofit. 3 clubs, 3 very different ways to win.
And just to really hammer home how massive Urawa's spending is, get this, their 3.19 billion yen payroll for players is more than double what some of their rivals can spend on their entire squad. It's not just a little advantage on the pitch, it's a completely different universe, financially speaking.
So you might be thinking, with a gap that wide, is it even possible for other clubs to break into that exclusive top tier? Is the game pretty much decided before anyone even kicks a ball? Well, it turns out one club found a surprising and very, very concrete answer.
For years, the answer to that question seemed to be a pretty firm no. But this year, Sanfrecce Hiroshima came along and proved that it is possible for a mid-tier club to just catapult itself into the financial elite. And they did it almost overnight. How'd they do it? It all comes down to this. Nearly 90% revenue growth in a single year. That's the result of one incredibly smart, incredibly bold, game-changing investment. Their blueprint was surprisingly simple, and it's something people are calling the stadium effect. They went all in and built a brand new, modern stadium right in the heart of the city. And the fans, they responded immediately, showing up in record-breaking numbers. That one single move nearly doubled their revenue, launching them from the middle of the pack straight into the top 4 earners in the entire league. Just incredible.
But, and this is a big but, Hiroshima's amazing success story is unfortunately the exception, not the rule. So let's pivot and look at the other end of the spectrum. Let's talk about those 27 clubs operating in the red. For them, it's not about joining the elite, it's about pure survival. Now, to really get how much danger some of these clubs are in, you need to know this term, net assets. The easiest way to think about it is like a club's financial safety net. It's what they own, minus what they owe. If that number gets too small, or worse, goes negative, the league's alarm bells start ringing, loudly.
And just look at how thin that safety net can be. A healthy club has a huge cushion, hundreds of millions of yen. But then you look at a club like AC Nagano Parzero. Their entire financial safety net was just 40 million yen. That's about 250,000 US dollars. Here's the kicker.
They lost 3 times that amount this year alone, so poof, the entire safety net is gone, and now they're deep in the hole.
And this isn't just some numbers on a spreadsheet. This is real. Under J.League rules, if you keep losing money like that, there are serious consequences. We're talking sanctions, and, in the worst-case scenario, you could lose your license to compete in the league at all. For clubs in this position, their very existence is on the line.
So, all of this, it brings us to this huge, fundamental question facing the entire league. As we look to the future, the J.League is caught in this massive tug-of-war. It's being pulled in 2 different directions at once: the sky-high ambition of its richest clubs versus the desperate need for stability for its poorest.
You know, looking ahead, there's a lot of good stuff happening. These new stadiums are a game changer. Sponsorships are strong, and broadcast deals are growing. Those are all lifting the whole league up. But, and these are the 2 massive challenges, that revenue gap is getting wider, not smaller, and there's an urgent need to make sure every club is financially stable, not just the ones at the top.
So the J.League is really at a crossroads. It has a proven formula for creating incredible wealth at the top, and at the same time, a formula for serious instability at the bottom. The ultimate question here isn't just about money anymore. It's about identity. What kind of league does it want to be? One dominated by a few financial titans, or a truly competitive and sustainable home for all of its clubs? Because right now, it can't be both.